Do you want to smile or be serious?
I'll probably give you a half smile.
Half smile? That's good. Perfect. That's good. That's great. Okay, cool.
Just before we get going with the PK meeting, just welcome Scott Laughton, Brandon, Carlo, Trade deadline's tough. We lose players, we gain players, but we're a better team today. We're a better team today. We've got two real solid players, character guys, so we're better off today.
Yes, the countdown is on. We are 5 hours from the NHL Trade Deadline. So many questions still to be answered. Will we see the Bruins actually trade their captain, Brad Marchand? Could we see superstar Mikko Rantanen traded for a second time in 2 months? Which teams are making a push for the Cup? Which teams are building for the future?
You know, you're juggling again, too, that, you know, it's all got to fit in terms of the cap, but it's also got to fit in terms of what the prices are and what the cost is. So there's certainly some areas that we'd like to shore up. It's just what's the cost, what's the contract, how do you fit it in, and ultimately what assets got to go out the door. In comparison to years past, it's a little bit slower just because I think there's a lot more teams that maybe haven't declared yet, as in years past. So there's lots of conversations going on. But yeah, we'd certainly like to help ourselves. We'll see how things play out.
Carlo is the most valuable piece up there for the whole.
A little bit of rotation for me.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are acquiring Scott Laughton.
Critical ad here for the Maple Leafs down the middle as they look towards the springtime. Dave?
I really like this move a lot. They need a third-line center, and he fits that bill.
How would you describe this trade deadline for you?
Business as usual. Deadline day is always busy, right? Deadlines force decisions in some cases. You know, you saw lots of activity in the league. It was a difficult trying to decipher who may become available. I think it went down the last few days for some teams making decisions on which way they were going to go. You have to do your work ahead of time. Credit to the staff to the good. We were prepared, you know, executed the plan.
What's the price? Okay, no, I pass. Is it in? You have it? Tree?
Yes.
You got it?
Done.
How much time? It's in?
Brandon Carlo, moments ago, traded from Boston to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I would have been pleased if it was just Laughton, but the fact that they get Carlo, that's huge. I mean, you got to compete against those two other teams in the Atlantic. I just think that's a massive deadline given the circumstances for Brad Treliving.
It's my job to look at everything, you know, and nothing is ever off the table. We came in with a couple of objectives. I mean, you look at a bunch of stuff to try to help make the team better, but specifically we wanted to look at the two areas, and one was on the blue line and center ice position, and give us some depth there. And I think both players do.
That's good. That's good.
You want to keep all your players, but at the end of the day, sometimes you have to make tough decisions.
My reaction was a little stunned at first. It happened very late at the deadline. I wasn't sure what was going to be happening, but after I settled and realized that I was coming here to the makeup of this group and seeing what they got going on here, I was very excited.
I've been in trade rumors for probably 4 or 5 years now. I think leading up to it, you're nervous and you don't really know what to expect. It was a crazy day. I got held out of practice and then was just waiting in the change room with a bunch of guys, waiting to hear and watching it on TV.
Anything obviously that's the same, anything that's different, obviously ask questions or whatever. So first I'm going to give you a forecheck.
Definitely a very emotional day for myself and my wife, and big change for us. So yeah, very emotional day.
Look at him shaking. I got it. Great shot.
I grew up here. I grew up a Leafs fan and watching them as a kid. So it's a very cool moment for me to pull that jersey over my head and be a part of it. Having a chance to win, how good the team is, I think that's first and foremost, to have a chance and to play in meaningful games at this time of year.
I think the most exciting part is just like kind of a change of scenery. It's fresh, it's new, it's making me feel like young again, like I'm going through my first training camp and my first day of school. So it's definitely pushing me out of my comfort zone, but I feel like that's where growth lies, so I'm excited about it.
Watching it up close, you see how special some of these guys are. I think the world-class talent that a lot of these guys have, and I think playing again for Chief is something that really excites me. I had him in Philly and really loved playing for him. Just having that chance, I think that's all you want as a player, is a chance to win. So I'm really excited for this opportunity.
The Leafs complete their road trip with a first ever adventure into the Delta Arena in Utah.
I've played against these guys a lot in my past couple years. For me, being a defensive guy, being up against guys like Austin Matthews, Marnes, Willie, it's a fun night, it's a hard night, it's definitely a challenge each night. But the offensive makeup of this group is pretty incredible. For myself, I really enjoyed the challenge, and it's great to be able to compete against these guys in practice now and still grow in that way. But yeah, they are very, very talented. We're still trying to figure out most of the plan. For right now, my wife and my daughter actually came up, but my son doesn't have a passport yet, so he's still back in Boston with my mom for right now.
Energy, let's skate, let's work, talk, communicate out there, and make sure we got support everywhere.
I think Utah's been great, even in the game that we played there just the other night. They came back in the game, the crowd was electric, it was very fun, the atmosphere is very cool. The city with the mountains and everything I think is beautiful, so I really like that part of it all.
The power play marker.
It was different being in a Leafs uniform, but I was very excited to get that win in the shootout. As soon as the shootout was starting, I was just looking down the bench at all the talent that was going. I knew I'd probably be 20th in line to go, maybe behind the goalies. But no, those guys, I wouldn't want to be a goalie in the net with them coming down.
In on the right side, into the slot area, score!
It's been different for sure, I think. Probably overthinking in some situations with all the new systems and things like that, but yeah, it's nice to get the first win and be a part of that and watch these guys in the shootout.
Here is Mitch Marner. Right-handed shot, top of the circle. Deep, scores! Stuffs it home, and the Maple Leafs are going to win this in a shootout.
Let's go, boys. Get our rest here. Got to get our rest, okay? Get some food, get good job.
I feel like I'm adjusting well, as good as I can. Right now I need to give myself grace as well and not be so hard on myself to fit so perfectly right away. There's going to be things that I'm still learning through. Mistakes will be made as always, but for me, I'm just trying to, be myself, and that's the best thing that I can do.